Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
We're back here on Zero Tackle for 5 points.
After we've had that big draft, it's been a bit of a, emotional come down. My team's so much better than yours.
Make sure you check the episode out on YouTube. But 5 minutes, 5 points, let's go.
The Sydney Roosters face a conundrum going into this season with 3 fullbacks, 3 of the best fullbacks in the world, Joseph Suaalii, Joey Manu, James Tedesco. Talk to me, Dan, what are they going to do?
Well, they're going to lose one because Suaalii especially is a young kid who can go and earn $1 million at multiple clubs. I think he's going to be content on the wing.
No, I don't think he's either. And also there's a Rugby Union World Cup next year as well. That's why he's only signed the 1-year deal. I think he's the one they'll lose. It wouldn't surprise me if Joey Manu went to the Roosters and said, I've been a long servant, I've won your premierships. Let me go and see if there's a spine position out there for me. And there is. You clear the decks for Joey Manu.
Look, Newcastle are going to come in with $1 million if they're serious about moving Ponga to 6. Cronulla are a superstar fullback away from a genuine title tilt. You got New Zealand who are looking for another marquee player after losing Reece Walsh. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to be short of offers. Although Tedesco just came out and won man of the match in a World Cup final as captain. So he ain't going anywhere either.
No, Teddy is still like the best, but Joey Manu, still like they're on his heels.
Incredible. Sticking with the Roosters though, Angus Crichton, send off for you or not?
No, not a send off for mine. Look, I know he got the 2 weeks for it. I think the precedent was set. If they had ruled this a send-off all year with Nas and JWH and all the other guys, yes. But Ashley Klein, best referee in the game, I don't care what anyone says, just ruled it how it's been ruled all year.
Yes. Now, should it have been a send-off for me? Yes. In the future, I would like it to be a send-off. I've been calling for it all year. But going back to what you said, the NRL set a precedent that they have to follow. You've had 3 or 4 occasions where Asofa-Solomona rang elbow up, not even a penalty. So you can't send him off. You can't say, oi, this is a rule that's been this way for a year, so we're going to change it in a World Cup final. His hands were tied. It is what it is. That has to be a send-off in future, though.
I still think my biggest issue with that is Chanel Harris-Tavita going to make a tackle after the whistle had clearly blown. I know you can turn and say maybe you didn't hear it or not. Klein got a spot on.
Look, sticking with the World Cup, we saw a World Cup final that saw Australia play a side outside the traditional big 3. Is the gap closing?
The gap is closing in the fact that at the moment the rules are open with the Tier 1 and Tier 2 nations that these nations, they can go and play Origin and then they can go and make their countries a lot better. Please leave it that way. But the gap is not closing on Australia because Australia fielded their second best squad with third string players. And yeah, they cruised.
Look, they did. I go back to New Zealand. This is the best side I've ever seen from New Zealand, including their 2008 World Cup winning squad. I just think this is better.
Like this side beats that side by 30.
Yeah, and they still couldn't beat Australia, who, again, were missing Payne Haas, missing Tommy Turbo, and a host of players that probably would have made it that, played for Samoa and Tonga. Look, there's more sides that are competitive, but 5 times out of 5, Australia are going to beat everyone, let's be honest. So,
Yes. Now, the World Cup final itself, though, what a game, what a stage, the emotions, everything was running wild on there. It was a fantastic game. Unfortunately, Samoa played their final the week before against England.
They did.
And once Australia had beaten New Zealand, you knew who was going to win.
Completely, 100% correct. Look, that Australian side is ridiculously good, despite the negatives we spoke of before. Samoa needed to be winning 10-0 for this to be a game. Once Australia scored and then scored again, it was game over.
Yeah, and look, you could just tell that fatigue, emotion and everything had finally caught up with Samoa. The Fox, when he ran through that gap there, all through the World Cup, that gap hasn't, barring the first game when everyone was hungover, that gap hasn't been there for him. I think that the adrenaline had just worn out for that Samoan team. They did themselves so proud, though, and the country as well.
Absolutely.
The scenes everywhere around Australia and over in Samoa were incredible.
That's it. Now, I genuinely think they're the 4th best team in the world right now. I think if they play New Zealand, it's going to be a real game. I still think the Kiwis is a little bit better. Should have been the final.
And the Tier 1 status of Samoa, it's coming up for debate now. Please don't make it a debate.
There's no debate for me. They have to stay Tier 2. We've got, a side that stepped up, and Tonga did this a few years ago. So now we've got 2 sides, and I'd argue Fiji are only a half back away from being that 3rd side. I don't want them to lose that eligibility because I guarantee Stephen Crichton, for instance, Jerome Luai, aren't going to give up playing 10 years of Origin and the potential millions of dollars on offer there to play for Samoa. Do not take this away.
That's what, and with the CBA coming into play now and the rep bonuses going up, 5 years of rep money for them is $500,000.
Oh, yes.
Sets their family up.
It does.
Don't take it away. Let them play for New South Wales. Let them play for Samoa. It's not broken. Don't fix it. Just because Paul Kent shouts into a microphone, you don't have to listen to it.
If anything, go the other way. Listen to us when we shout into our microphones.